I salute you, my dear friends. Many blessings. Welcome to the Bow Tie Chronicles.
All right. Check this out. This is a new initiative. Um, I am excited to launch a on this day, October the 2nd, 2024, a new YouTube channel called Bow Tie Chronicles. I'm excited in part because I think it is a wonderful opportunity for me to really just showcase something that I'm passionate about, and that is really talking about financial literacy, financial awareness, giving helpful tools, tips. Um, this is something that, I kind of, do officially and unofficially from that perspective. And I thought that developing, a YouTube channel would be a good, easy, practical way to help not just a small but a large volume of people to actually get this from that perspective. And so um, um, just as an FYI, the term Bow Tie Chronicles is in part because you can kind of see the pictures behind me. When you look at the picture directly behind me, that is the picture of me actually when I'm getting my doctorate. So I actually have 4 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, really with a focus on social psychology. And this other picture right here is a picture that was actually taken probably about 8 or 9 years ago. I was very fortunate that I had the opportunity to go back to my undergraduate degree and speak where I got my bachelor's degree and um, and serve as the keynote for their undergraduate ceremonies, both of their undergraduate ceremonies. I also have a master's degree in education, and that is something that I do, and something that I, really take a lot of pride in educating people, helping people to, um, develop curriculum, helping them to understand financial awareness, financial literacy, in a very practical manner. And then I have, as I mentioned, 2 degrees, one in education and one also in Christian counseling. And that's kind of what you kind of just see with, my faith. The picture down here is actually um, this institution right here. A couple years before then, I was honored as one of the outstanding alums. And you kind of see that as a particular honor, and very fortunate that that was an honor that I received. And you can kind of see on the wall there that picture you see uh, right here, right there. That's that award. So uh, you see it in the photo when I received it, and kind of just going from there. So um, this is something, like I said, that I'm taking a lot of pride in, and kind of go from there. So a couple of concepts that we kind of discuss as a part of, this particular channel. We will definitely discuss, financial literacy and understanding some aspects of just financial awareness. We will have, discuss, just some basic concepts such as the rule of 72. I think everyone should understand the basic rule of 72, which is the foundational principle of compound interest. It plays a role in our life in everything that we do, whether to our benefit, which is, how we invest, how we earn money, how we, get interest on our corpus and how we, look at increasing, um, passive income and, how we get dividends and so forth, which is extremely important. But it also to our detriment, especially with credit cards, APR rates, mortgage rates, interest rates, and your mortgages, you're buying points and those type of things. And so I began to break out some of those things. And so I want to kind of understand, help you to understand the rule of 72. I also want you to have a better understanding of how um, you should have a better understanding of your FICO score, your credit rating, and how to use um, really credit to your as an asset and not a liability. Um, it's kind of this fallacy. If you're kind of like me, when I began college many years ago, when I was walking around the college campus, there was this credit card companies, and um, if you fill out a credit card application, they gave you a T-shirt, and that just that small enticement was the beginning of that kind of trap of getting you to launch your credit, and it will affect you in many ways. And once you got a credit card, you were away from your parents, and you can do things and have access to things, whether it was go on trips or buy things or whatever it was. You had the ability to do those things, and you didn't necessarily have to depend upon your parents. And so me being a first generation college student, that was just real important. So I had the ability to do some things I wanted to do, but I didn't understand the consequences of that. I understand, the credit, your credit ranking, your credit score, and your credit rankings, and how that affects you, and the components of your credit score, and understanding credit ratios and um, credit history, and the length of credit history, and the types of relationships, and how all goes into play, when you're trying to use it to build a relationship, and the different types of credit, whether it's revolving credit, and so just really just understanding and using credit to leverage credit for your benefit, and and using credit to kind of guide and govern your way of life, is really important. So just want to kind of just guide you, um, through through kind of that type of those type of things. And so then we begin to look at some aspects of just budget management. How are you establishing your budget? How are you setting your budgets up? How are you looking at your budget? How are you beginning to see how your budget should be set up, and what are some of the premises associated with your particular budgets? And so we're beginning to go into some of that throughout this particular channel. And so um, those are some additional concepts. And so also on our channel, we'll begin to look at, a principle called the 80-20 principle. And that is a principle that I use, Pareto principle, really about, it's a proven principle that is embedded within corporate and personal uh, productivity, around products and customers and market positioning and personal growth and edification. Really, how do you leverage who you are by maximizing 20% of your time, to get 80% of your work done, and how even in your workplace, how 80% of the productivity of a particular unit or operation is done by that star 20% of a particular function. And so we'll begin to get into some of those aspects. And so, you know, and then I also think that we'll begin to dabble a little bit in, not in a legal way, but oftentimes people begin to say, talk to me about the importance of budget management, and kind of just go through some of those things. What about the importance of, knowing the difference between like family trust versus a will, and the different types of trust versus wills. I think some of that over time we'll begin to get into that on this particular channel. So, like I said, financial literacy, financial awareness, financial sustainability, financial empowerment, are some of the hallmarks that we will address as a part of this particular channel. I named the channel Bow Tie Chronicles, and when I'm launching the channel here on October 2nd of 2024, it's in part because I realized that a lot of people asking for me to do presentations, whether it has come to, small groups, civic organizations, religious organizations, their social clubs. And I said, rather than do it on these kind of ad hoc basis, let me become much more strategic and begin to do videos and so forth, and they can have access to them. And so I really tried to codify this in a way that, I think it can be beneficial from that perspective. And so that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the particular channel. I think over time we begin to get into some other things as we begin to expand the scope of the channel, and kind of just look at how you can just leverage other aspects of your life, and become much more productive and focused. But really, as I said, understanding initially, financial literacy really focused on the rule of 72, which is the foundation of compound interest. Understanding FICA, your FICO score, your credit score, knowing the range, the highest being 850, understanding, what is exceptional credit, what is good credit, what is borderline credit, what is bad credit, how is that viewed by different agencies, and how, the composite score by the agencies really can affect how, you govern, including jobs. And so, really your credit can determine whether or not you have certain opportunities for jobs. And so we would cover that also on Bow Tie Chronicles. And then really kind of just teach you, some components of, how to maximize and how to kind of, discover your whole financial independence, and becoming, much more prepared, and being very intentional, as you prepare for, not just life where you're earning money and you're earning potential, but, life where you don't have money, for its retirement. And so you have quality of life while you're earning money, and quality of life, after retirement. And I'm a very strong proponent for building wealth. And that was something that despite my being a first generation college student, my grandparents and despite them not having degrees, really taught me the importance of wealth building. Even though they didn't have it, they taught me the concepts that you should build for your grandkids and great grandkids. And so I know for me, they invested in me, even though, being a grandchild, they wanted to make sure I had a quality life. And so now that I have the degree and the capacity, I am building not just for my grandkids, I'm planning seeds and foundation, and build a capacity through our trust, and putting infrastructure in place for my great grandkids. And so, and teaching my kids, and eventually laying the foundation for my grandkids to teach their kids how to continue this process of building wealth, so it becomes generational. And so, that becomes the foundation of the legacy. of how I'm trying to establish moving forward. So again, I just want to kind of establish a foundation of what this channel will be about, and you have a better sense of, who we are, what we're going to do, and the kind of brand that we're hoping to establish as a part of establishing, this channel that we're naming Bow Tie Chronicles, as a foundational channel here on YouTube. Take care. May you be touched, and always think about your future, because you can become the thing that you desire.